All right, everyone, welcome back to another Star Wars Galaxy of Heroes video with Fat Phil, and today we're going to be looking at 3 resources that I would begin to hoard starting as we get into 2024. As we're preparing for 2024, these are 3 resources that I would begin to think about saving, hoarding them, because 2024 could be a very big year for your account. There's going to be a lot of changes coming to this game, whether it's through more Lightspeed bundles, more releases, and I think you're going to need to be prepared with at least these 3 resources. Let's dive right in here, but we've got to give shout outs to the channel members. Thank you so much to those at my Wampa and Jedi Master tier for all of your continued support. You all are amazing. And of course, guys, I would be completely remiss if I did not thank those who are on the council, even if they aren't yet granted the rank of master. Thank you guys again. I hope what I'm doing and the content I'm providing is what you're looking for. And if it's not, let me know what you want to see down in the comments section. And if you're not subscribed, well, what are you waiting for? Subscribe, because I try to post daily, guys. I'm trying to get better at it. So again, thank you all. Let's get in. Let's talk about these 3 resources that we should be thinking about here. So the first one is Omicrons. Omicrons are something that as we get into 2024, more and more players are going to need them. And here's why. How many of you are going to get Reva in 2024? Maybe you're going to unlock Ben Solo. You got the Lightspeed bundles. You need to get Ben Solo. He needs Omicrons. Are you going to get Darth Malgus? And then Darth Bane is coming. And how many players are going to want Darth Bane? So my recommendation is hold on to those Omicrons. Omicrons are a resource, similar to Zetas, where the supply and the demand are kind of like this, right? Where the supply of them is down here and the demand is up here. Omicrons is the same thing. And it takes a lot longer to get Omicrons. So when you find yourself in a hole, it's a lot harder to climb out of it. So like Ben Solo here, I haven't equipped this one. I'd love to, but it's a little bit too luxury for me. Now, I say this as a lot of you would be like, Phil, you have 76 Omicrons. Like, you could spend that. But you need to think of, I need to think about Malicos and the Seer on the line Force user team. And I need to think about whether Bane's Omicrons are necessary. So I'm thinking ahead in terms of, will I have these Zetas for when those other things come around? I don't even have enough Zetas to give all of Malicos and Seer Junda. So that's why I'm saving. I need to think about which teams I really want to equip. What about Tuskens for GAC? So really need to start thinking about those kinds of areas where I need to invest my Omicrons. And that's why I'm kind of hanging on to them. Because you can't move them between characters. Once they're on for good. So I would begin hoarding these things. Now, let's be clear on what I mean by hoarding. Hoarding doesn't mean you don't spend. I think that's a very common misconception. It means that you're going to hold on. Really, the way I look at it sometimes is I'm going to hold on to a certain amount of these things. That I'm going to get enough Omicrons that I can do, say, 4. Right? I'll hit 80. Then when I hit 100, maybe then I spend one. That I'm going to hoard and keep that number because I want to make sure that I have enough for a whole new team that comes out or something. That I want to, if there's a groundbreaking character that really happens, I want to be able to jump on them, right? That's the state that I'm at. So whatever that number looks like for you is going to be different. If you're in the earlier stages of the game, don't feel like every time you get an Omicron that you have to spend it. Maybe you hang on to it. Maybe you see if there's something else that comes in that you're like, wow, you know what? I could really use that Omicron. So I really think hoarding them is going to be important because a lot of you are going to be unlocking these characters like this next year. Think about this right here is, in total, this is 7 Omicrons right here. 7 Omicrons right here alone in those 3 characters. And that's just the ones I've equipped. This would be 9 total. You throw in Bane and it's 12. So I hope you guys understand what I'm trying to get across here. I'm not saying that you need to hold on to, 300 Omicron mats. But don't feel like you have to spend every single one as soon as you get it. Because when you get these high-ticket characters, these big-ticket items, you want to be able to equip the Omicrons on them. So I'd hoard those going into 2024 because I think there's going to be a lot of big changes. Next, these next 2 categories are going to be sort of like do as I say, not as I do. So you got to be hoarding Relic 8s and Relic 9s. This is because for a lot of us, going into this next year, you're going to start trying to build some of those other things where they require more Relic 8s. Think about Leviathan, Profundity, Jedi Master Kenobi, Lord Vader. You're going to start doing those Galactic Legend farms because a lot of players who bought these Lightspeed bundles, Rey and Kylo didn't have any of those high Relic levels. So now you have all these extra resources that you might be able to spend towards those other GLs that you don't have to play that catch up as much. So one of the big things with these Lightspeed bundles was it's going to save you a lot of those resources that you could use towards Relic 8s that you're going to want to use for those characters who require them. So as I said, do as I say, not as I do, because I did say that one of the areas I have been lacking in, now that I have Leia, I've got Leviathan, Profundity, Executor, I have all the Relic 8 requirements out of the way, I can start doing a few luxury things. So do as I say, not as I do, but we're going to take Jedi Master Luke to Relic 8 right here. I've told you guys this a lot. This is an area where I know I am lacking in, where I know that I've fallen behind my opponents, that they have all of these Relic 8s, they have all of these Relic 9s. So I need to put myself in that position. So not only are we going to do Relic 8 on Luke, but also on Lord Vader, 2 Relic 8s in the same video. You guys are getting spoiled lately with all these extra Relic levels I'm throwing on characters. So now we have 3 Galactic Legends at Relic 8, and we're going to hold there. Right? I'm going to hold there. We're going to start working on our stockpile of impulse detectors. We're going to keep our stockpile of Relic 9 materials because there's a lot more stuff coming. So I hope you guys enjoy that. This is something I've said a lot that I've tried to been doing more and more. As a content creator, I recognize that these big things that I do like this should be done on live streams or at least recorded in a video so you can enjoy it as well. So that's one area I'm trying to get better at. That's why I saved it for this. But do as I say, not as I do. Save your Relic 8s. And I know a lot of you are going to want to put them on Rey or on Kylo or Starkiller or all these characters that look cool. Just take a time out and ask yourself this question. If early in 2024 they come out with a Red 5 or another character comes out where, hey, guess what? There's another Relic 8, another GL with more Relic 8s. Those ones that are sitting on those characters are now, not that they're worthless, but those are resources that you could have put into that next thing. Because how many players are going to be in a position where they can't get Jabba, they feel like they can't get Jabba and they can't get Leia because they don't have the Relic 8 materials, or they can't get Leviathan because there's too many Relic 8s and the Relic 9 on top of it. So I'm a big believer in trying to do as minimal, get through this game using the minimal amount of resources possible. And then when you get to that breaking point is when you go up. And this is kind of, I've been kind of hitting my breaking point. So Relic 8 Jedi Master Luke, Relic 8 Lord Vader. We're now over, 118,000 protection on our Luke. That's pretty nice. Oh, look at this. I have 3 more protection than I do health. Oh my gosh, that's hilarious. 3, look at that. That is insane. 3 more protection than health. That's really funny. Welcome to Relic 8 land. Yeah, I'll be very curious to see what my Luke ends up with when I do eventually take him to Relic 9. That will be very curious. I'll be very curious to see how much he jumps up there. So, Luke at Relic 8. And then we also did the Lord Vader there. So now, he just gains health. He doesn't gain any protection from here, but his offense numbers go up. So, that's nice, right? We'll take that. So, those are the 2 things. I would, for the rest of the players, though, I'd be saving these because you're going to need them for requirements. I don't care what you say. Like, I think, because even if they do a Lord Vader pack, say they release a Lord Vader Lightspeed bundle, just think of this. They only gave you the character at Relic 5. So you still would have to use those Relic 8 materials. So save them for the requirements. You're going to be so much better off. Trust me, guys. Trust me. I did not get 8 Galactic Legends in all the 3 ships because I was throwing Relic 8s, willy-nilly. I was I treat these things like they are a very, how do I say this? I treat these like they're, what's a very precious resource? They're not even like diamonds, right? Like, I treat these like you treat your monkey bombs if you played Call of Duty Zombies, right? That, you hold on to those things until you absolutely have to use it, right? You're not just throwing them things for fun. Like, they are a, last resort. Hey, I got to do this. So that's the way you want to treat those resources, especially going into 2024, where relic levels are getting increasingly more and more important. And you think of this new Bo-Katan, she's requiring relic 7s. So even these legendary type characters, you think Starkiller was relic 5s, Inquisitors were relic 5s, Afro relic 5s, Cal was gear 12s, but he's on a tier where you could get through with gear 8s. So they're upping how much gear it takes to unlock stuff. So be prepared that relic 8s are going to become a lot more common in requirements. Finally, I think we're going to see another S-tier fleet. So I would be hoarding your ship materials and I'd be hoarding prestige. And I made a huge blunder here. And I'm going to show you guys this. So if we go to ships, right? I think we're going to get another S-tier fleet. Now, I think this could come in one of 2 ways, right? So first, maybe we get a ship like Red 5. We've been teased it so often, but what if we get a ship like Red 5 that makes the home 1 better? If that's the case, you're going to want prestige to make your home 1 really good. So I would not be just throwing, prestige everywhere. Now, that said, it's not that I'm like, I just would not be maxing out all of your abilities quite yet. Or maybe you max out the ones that are the most important. Because the other thing is, if we get another S-tier fleet to compete with the Leviathan, right? You think all the S-tier fleets kind of have this, kind of have like an equal and an opposite. You think Negotiator and Malevolence kind of, fit like this. You've got Executor and Profundity fit like this, and then you kind of have Leviathan in a tier of its own. So the next ship, I would argue, is going to be competing with Leviathan. So you want to start saving prestige. And I was an idiot when I did this earlier. So I went and I maxed out my Radis, thinking for 3v3, territory wars and stuff, just have a little bit better fleet. And then I was like, crap, I don't have enough prestige to even max out a ship, and I still need to finish off my Profundity. I still need to spend 600 more prestige. So I am way low on prestige now. And a lot of you are going to be in that same position. So I need to be hoarding up on my prestige to then spend it on Profundity, get it maxed out, and then finally be in that position where I've just got to hoard for that next capital ship. So it's going to take me a long time to get there. It's going to take me, I'm going to need I need 800 some odd prestige after I'm done with Profundity. So looking at next 3 months of prestige, just saving as much of it as I can. So all that said, guys, I think those are the 3 resources that I would be kind of paying attention to, like all of your fleets, but particularly I think prestige, because prestige is the one that's the hardest to obtain. It's the one that takes the most time of all those ships. Same thing with like Relic 8s and Relic 9s. They're the ones that take the longest. You should be still saving like resources at all times, but particularly these ones where it's a lot easier to obtain Zetas than it is to obtain Omicrons. So it's not like you need to save a crazy amount of Zetas because they don't take super long to get to. You think in the time that you're going to get, you could spend a whole year and you get 4 Omicrons a week from your galactic challenges, conquest, anything like that. You get 4 of them a week. So 200 a year? So 10 Omicrons a year. I mean, that's 3 months of Zetas? Somewhere in that range, right? You think 3 months of Zetas? So a lot easier to get Zetas, and that's why I'd be paying attention to these 3 resources. Let me know what your guys' thoughts are down below. Obviously, really funny that I, did some more Relic 8s for you guys. Just trying to get better in all ways I can. So I appreciate all of you. May the Force be with you, and I will see you all in the next video. Cheers.